this is Catherine from Fit Armadillo, the fitness company that lets you enjoy your fitness at your place and your pace. And I'm here today because it is Tighten and Tone Tuesday. In this week's video, I'm going to focus on how to take your baseline measurements so that you'll have a way to assess where you're starting from right now and how far you've come as you continue in your fitness journey. Now, most of the time when people think about baseline measurements, the first thing they think of is a scale and measuring their weight. However, we all know that scales sometimes lie, make us cry, and in general can just be really demotivating when we're looking at them for inspiration and motivation. The assessments I'm sharing today will give you some alternative options so that you don't have to rely on the scale, but you can still measure your progress and can also be motivated along the way. I'm going to share two assessments with you and two equations that will help you figure out a little bit more about your health and body composition. In order to learn more about your overall health at this moment, you'll do a waist to hip ratio calculation. And in order to figure out your current body composition, so how much fat versus lean body mass you currently have, you'll figure out your body density and plug that into an equation that will give you that value. Now, if knowing your current health or your body composition is not going to be motivating for you right now, think back to what I said about the scale. Don't use it if it's not going to motivate you. Only take measurements that are going to help you. So the first thing I want you to do is try to get a before picture. Have a friend take it, set up your camera on time relapse to take it. Don't even look at it if you don't want to, but just make sure you get that picture down now because you're going to want to have a comparison later. And the second thing is just to take the measurements that we're going to do for the first assessment and just write them down. Most of us don't know what these measurements mean, so you can write them down today, start working out, getting your routine set, and then in a month you can write them down again and see the progress that you made and be excited about it instead of worrying about things today. So what you'll need to do these measurements is a measuring tape and a mirror. This guy that I have right here is not either of those. I just brought it out because we're going to be able to calculate our body composition today, and you might have had to use one of these at the gym when they signed you up. If they gave you a free assessment, they often like to use this to scare you into signing up for personal training sessions with them. I'm not going to go into this tool right now, but it does assess your body fat percentage. However, what's important to know and realize that they don't usually tell you at the gym when you go for your assessment is that you need to take into consideration how much water you've had, if you've worked out yet, if you've eaten yet, before you can really use these accurately. So, not a big fan of this unless it's used properly. You can do your own fitness assessment and not have to deal with this, unless you really want to, and then by all means, see how we compare. The first two measurements we're going to take are going to help you figure out your waist to hip ratio. We're going to measure your waist circumference, your hip circumference, divide the waist value we get by the hip value we get, and it will spit out a number that's going to tell us about our health. Block your ears for about 30 seconds if you don't think you'll want to know what your measurement means, because I'm going to go over that real quick right now. Okay, when you take your waist measurement, if you're a male and your measurement comes out to over 40 inches or over 102 centimeters, this is an indication that you're obese. For women, if your measurement for your waist is over 35 inches or over 89 centimeters, this would be an indication that you're obese. If you find that value as we continue on, remember that today is your first day starting. You're going to move on and kick butt and not have to worry about these issues again. So why do we use a waist to hip ratio measurement? The reason that we do that is that scientists have found that when we have excess body fat, it's stored mostly in our waist and in our hips. And They've also been able to correlate certain values for our waist to hip ratio with certain diseases such as type 2 diabetes and hypertension. What this means is if your waist to hip ratio is above a certain number, you're going to be more at risk for diabetes and hypertension and some other diseases that are related to an increased body fat. Now, what's really important to realize here is just by walking every day, you can start to decrease your risk and decrease your body fat percentage. So don't let this intimidate you. Start small, start today, and you'll be able to see results. For the waist to hip ratio, what you'll need to do is measure your waist and your hips. For the purposes of this assessment, your waist is considered the narrowest part of your torso. So it's going to be just below your ribs and a little bit above your belly button. So here's my belly button, here's my ribs, I'm going to be right around here. And I'm going to take my measuring tape and measure that using my mirror. As I look around, I want to make sure this doesn't happen, right? And then I'm also even all the way around. I'd recommend that you measure this in centimeters so that the math for the second assessment I'm teaching you will be a little easier, but inches or centimeters is fine. Of course, the second measurement we need is your hips. The name of this measurement can be a little deceiving to people because you might think it's a measure of your body's circumference at your hip bones. But that's actually a different measurement that only men will use in our second assessment. Your hips are actually defined as the widest part of your body in your butt area. So for our waist, we're looking for the narrowest part of our torso, but for our hips, we're looking for the widest part of our body in that glute region. What can you do with that information? Well, first, you can just use those numbers to compare to in a few weeks and see if there's been any changes. But you can also do the math and figure out what your waist to hip ratio is. So take your waist number, divide it by the hip number, and get a value, and then you'll be able to figure out what level of risk you are currently at for some diseases that are related to being overweight. I'm going to show the chart that will let you know what level you are in based on your personal calculations. Here it is. If your waist to hip ratio is in those upper levels and you're at risk, you'll be at risk for things like diabetes and high blood pressure, things we don't want to have, but that are easily treated by eating well and exercising. For the second assessment, we're just going to take a few more measurements. They differ between men and women, but they're going to help us figure out our body density and our body composition. So giving us the same information that we would get if we held one of those little handheld devices at the gym, but with the added benefit of some circumference measurements that we can use during our fitness journey to compare our results. Let's do ladies first. If you are a woman, you're going to need that hip measurement you just took in centimeters, and you'll also need your age and your height in centimeters. And the extra measurement that we'll have to take is a measurement for your abdomen. The abdomen measurement is found by finding your belly button and doing a circumference measurement there. So check your mirror. This is not going to be straight, right? Check your mirror as you're doing this measurement. Have a friend help you if you want to include them and you're comfortable having them do this for you. That's your abdomen. So ladies, abdomen, hips, height, and age. For men, you'll also need that abdomen measurement, so adding that measurement at the belly button, you'll need your hip measurement, and your extra measurement is going to be the iliac measurement. This is actually the measurement of our body circumference at the hip bones. So finding your hip bones and taking the measurement around there, that will give you your extra measurement if you're a male. If you're a man, we don't need to know your age for this calculation, but we will need to know your weight, so you'll have to get that as well. Now, once you have these measurements in centimeters, there's two things you can do. You can keep them and just check in on them in a few weeks just to see your progress in the numbers, or you can plug them into the equation I'm going to put up to figure out your body density and then your body fat percentage. So here's the equation for women. The equation for men to figure out their body density is this one. If you're male or female, once you have that body density number, you're going to use a second equation that's going to help you figure out your actual body composition. And this is the equation that you'll use. So it's all good and well to know this number, but it might not be motivating to you or demotivating to you because you might not know what that means. And so I'm just going to put up some values for your body fat percentage and what it should be if you're healthy. Notice your body fat percentage can be too low or too high. So you want to make sure that you're in a healthy range. And that's it. Now you know 2 ways to figure out some extra information about your current fitness level just by taking circumference measurements. The first way is the waist to hip ratio that allows us to figure out some of our risk for certain diseases and whether or not we're obese. And the second calculation allows you to figure out your body fat percentage, which can help you see if you're decreasing the percentage of your body that is fat and increasing the percentage that is lean, so muscle tissue and your organs, over time. I hope this video was helpful and gave you some solutions besides the scale that will help you stay on track and assess your progress as you continue in your fitness journey. Remember, you can start this journey today, 1 step, 1 push-up, 1 stretch at a time. I know you can do it. I'm here to help you if you need it. Send me an email or leave me a comment below. I hope you have a great day and an awesome workout. I hope you have a great day, awesome workout, and I can't wait to hear about your fitness success now that you know how to track your success in a better way than just using the scale. Bye. Hello fitness fans, are you looking for a great way to get in shape in 2014 without having to join a gym? Then I would love to invite you to join our 4-week fitness session which starts Monday, February 3rd. You'll have access to an ACE certified personal trainer, that's me, and get to meet a great group of friends to hold you accountable along the way. To learn more, send me an email or visit my website at fitarmadillo.com. It would be my honor to help you make 2014 the year you finally reach your fitness goals.